Hi, my name is Shawn Jansen. I'm joined by Lynch, and the Shawn and Shawn show keeps going. Merced High making it to Sleep Train Arena. They're going to play on Wednesday night in the semifinals. Should be a fun game against Rodriguez. Pretty good showing for our teams in the playoffs. We got a couple teams in the second round.
Yeah, we didn't get the all Merced semifinal that we were hoping for, but at least one team made it to Sleep Train, and Golden Valley was right there with them to the end with that Rodriguez game. So, good showing all the way around. We got Buhat Colony getting their first ever playoff win for the girls.
Mm-hmm.
And, even the Merced High girls represented themselves pretty well before taking on a tough St. Mary's team.
But we're going to spend a lot of time talking about the Merced boys this week. I went out to practice, talked to Coach Nava, AJ Stewart, and Ulonzo Gilliam as they're getting ready for Wednesday. But before that, here's the sights and sounds from last week.
Let's go ahead and take a look back at last week's action. Let's start on the girls' side. Buhat Colony getting their first ever win. Moving on to the second round and facing a Del Oro team. How big was that first victory for them?
When school opened in 2001, they had yet to win a playoff game. So getting that first one, it was a really big moment for them. They were posing, taking pictures after. You had to really feel good for what they got, especially not winning the CCC. So that was kind of like their salvation for the season. They had something to hang their hat on. They were impressive that game against Bear Creek with their press. They forced 24 turnovers. Allison Wisdom scored 29 points, and Tots Seals coming up big with 17 points. They move on to face Del Oro, drove up there, watched that game, and they hung well with them probably until midway through the third quarter. Wisdom hit a three-pointer to give Buhat a 1-point lead, but then Buhat Colony kind of just ran out of gas after that. Del Oro beat them on the boards. They went on a 20-1 run. They started hitting some three-pointers. They hit 3 threes in a row. And before you knew it, Buhat's looking at a 19-point deficit there.
Yeah, just never really developed that secondary scoring over the course of the season, and that kind of finally caught up with them.
Yeah, there was I think Brandy Coward had 10 points, but, Del Oro just won the game in the paint with their bigs. Their bigs ran the floor real well. You don't see that often in girls basketball, and they were able to make long passes over the top, and that really hurt Buhat early in the game. and then just Buack's lacking depth. They don't go very deep in the bench, and they were kind of asking a lot of their 5 starters, and they kind of just ran out of gas there in the second half. Especially you spend so much energy on Tuesday night getting that first win. Thursday, they were doing well for the first half, but I think Wisdom kind of just got tired, and her shot stopped falling in the second half.
All right, let's talk about Golden Valley. Pretty comfortable win in the first round. They go and take on a very speedy Rodriguez team. We knew it was going to be a challenge for them. Sounded like the game was there for the win, though.
Yeah, I mean, the game was really played at breakneck pace, up and down the court. Rodriguez really likes to pressure. They'll send 2-3 guys in the back court and kind of cause havoc. And talking to Christian Carroll, Golden Valley's point guard after the game, he said, man, they just wore us out with their pressure. He's like, yeah, we knew we were going to turn the ball over some just because they pressure so much, but I think the big thing was Josh Sykes. When he was on the floor, I think Golden Valley was probably up 8-10 points when he was playing. When he came off the floor, they just didn't have that guy to protect the basket. Rodriguez's whole offense is just attack the basket. They went almost kamikaze style straight into Josh Sykes, trying to draw fouls and get him out of there. But Rodriguez is a really good team. They play really good defense. They're real good one-on-one offensively, driving to the hole. It'll be an interesting matchup when they meet up with Merced at Sleep Train.
It sounded like the shooting got away from Golden Valley, especially beyond the arc in that fourth quarter, too.
Yeah, if they could have knocked down some shots. Evan Stallon had some good looks. Christian Carroll, some drives to the baskets. Their shots just weren't falling. I think they were 1 of 7 from the three-point range in the fourth quarter. You knock down 2 or 3 of those, you put pressure on Rodriguez, and Golden Valley might have been able to get out of there with a win. But, playing against Rodriguez for 4 quarters, I think, by the end of the game, your legs have kind of getting away from you there and maybe not have the stamina to shoot from long range.
All right, well, when the season started, we felt we had a team that had a really good chance of getting to Sleep Train Arena. I don't know that either one of us would have picked Merced to be that team.
No, you've got to give the Bears credit from where they started to where they are right now. I think going into league, we probably would have predicted them 3rd, maybe 4th, depending on how you felt about Atwater. But they're just playing really good defense right now. You look at the past 5 quarters, they gave up 2 points in the fourth quarter to Pleasant Grove and then only 37 points to Franklin. That's playing really good defense to hold 2 good offenses like that down.
Yeah, 18 of those came in the second quarter. You throw that one out, they gave up 12 points in the entire second half. I mean, it was second straight game. They're down 10 at halftime. But I mean, I tweeted it out at halftime. Somebody called me Nostradamus for tweeting it out. But I mean, it had to help that they already knew they could come back. I mean, they had to be feeling good. Offensively, they had nothing going. They weren't attacking the basket well. They weren't. Franklin's probably as quick a team as Merced's seen in a while, if not the quickest team they've seen all season. So they weren't being able to get out on the break like they've been successful at. So they went into halftime. They regrouped. Nava just kept telling them, stick with the plan. It'll work. We know we can play defense, and we know we have offensive spurts in front of us. They played the lights out defensively in the second half. Have you ever been more impressed from a defensive standpoint with a freshman than Ulonzo Gilliam?
Yeah, it's funny. I was talking to Hector Nava today. I was like, do you sit back and think about what he's going to look like in 3 or 4 years with the senior? And he's like, yeah, I have a vision for him. He's like, I envision what he's going to be like next year. He's like, well, there's things that he needs to work on. He needs to work on his shot, and he said, we'll help him with that. But defensively, he's just going to get stronger and faster, and it's going to be fun to see his progression through the next couple of years.
I felt that was the big change in the game because John Moscoso, their senior guard, he kind of went off in that second quarter. Mm-hmm. Late in the second quarter, Nava urged Gilliam back to the top of the zone that they were playing. All of a sudden, he's in his hip pocket for the rest of the game. He makes 2 baskets the rest of the way, both coming late in the fourth quarter. Changed everything. All of a sudden, the offensive flow that Franklin had wasn't there anymore, and I feel like the rest of the team fed off of it. All of a sudden, A.J. Stewart's making steals. You got Trevante all over the place. They really play well as a team defensively, which is fun to see. I mean, it's not just individual guys. And I mean, defense gets the job done in the end. Trevante carried the offensive load, 22 points that night.
22 points in a game where they only scored 39. That's pretty impressive.
There was not a lot of offense to be had in the game in general. But then another telling thing I felt for them was the end of the third quarter. Trevante probably gets a bad fourth foul. He exits the game with like 45 seconds left in the quarter. I tweeted out at that point in time, where's the points going to come from? Who's going to step up? Well, A.J. Stewart answered the call. I think he had 8 of his 10 points in the fourth quarter and really carried the load until they got Trevante back out there. And then, of course, it was defense that got the win, essentially. Moscoso hits a 3 with about $1.20 something left, puts Franklin back on top. They get a drive from Trevante. He hits a pair of free throws, and then on the ensuing possession, you get a Gilliam knocks the ball away. Stewart picks it up. They run the break really well. Nava almost had a heart attack because they almost were a little too nonchalant in the break, but AJ gives a nice pass at the last second. Gilliam lays it in to put him up for good, and then Trevante gets a big block on kind of the last real shot of the game to seal the victory. Really nice crowd from Merced. They were very appreciative of the effort they got, and they were rewarded for traveling. There was a good portion of the game where they had more people than Franklin did.
Yeah, it's amazing to think, because in that first playoff game, Pleasant Grove got off to a 25-6 lead in the second quarter, and you just thought, no way that they were going to come back in that game. But yet to come back in that game and come back in against Franklin. Impressive run here, and it should be an interesting matchup with Rodriguez.
Yeah, confidence has to be riding high.
Yeah.
Here's the interviews from Shawn's trip out to Merced.
All right, we're here with Ulonzo Gilliam. You guys are getting ready to go to Sleep Train Arena in a couple days. How special is that going to be, making that trip?
It's going to be very special. We haven't went in I don't know how long, and it's just an honor for me as a freshman. Just going up there my first year in high school.
Take me back to the Pleasant Grove game. You guys are down 11 points. You come back, and then you hit the 2 big free throws in the final, 20 seconds left. What was it like hitting those free throws?
It was great. I mean, I just knew how to keep focused, keep my arms straight, put some air on it.
Watching the ball go through the net, what was that feeling like?
It was great, a relief. And I knew that, I think it tied it up. I knew we could take the win after that.
You guys have gotten here on defense, holding the Pleasant Grove to 2 points and then holding Franklin to 37 points. What is it about you guys that plays that makes your defense so tough?
I mean, we just work hard on defense in practice. Coach Nava tells us, defense is the key of winning, so that's what we do.
All right, we're here with Merced guard A.J. Stewart. Talk about what was it like Friday night after beating Franklin in a tight game like that to clinch a trip to Sleep Train.
It was very exciting. The celebration after was just crazy. We had so many fans, and we played hard to win. That's what we had to do.
What was that ride home like?
Loud. It was very exciting. It was fun.
So you come here on Monday. What was it like at school with your classmates and teachers? Were they all excited still?
Yeah, everybody's excited. They're all talking about going to the game Wednesday and how they're going to get out of school and go watch us play.
What's going to be keys against Rodriguez for you guys to be successful?
No turnovers, strong defense, and playing smart.
Cool. All right. Well, good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you.
Okay, we're here with Merced coach Hector Nava making a return appearance to the show. Congratulations on the 2 playoff wins. You guys are the only team going. How special is it to still be practicing and getting ready for another game at this point of the year?
Oh, wow. Anytime you're practicing in March, you have a great team. I'm very, very proud of the kids' hard work and determination. To be playing in March, it's just a great feeling.
How stressful was last week? I mean, you guys were down big against Pleasant Grove. You're able to come back in the second half. Again, against Franklin, you're down 10, and especially in a low-scoring game like that, to be able to overcome those deficits.
Oh, man, the heartbeat, I felt like my heart at certain times was just going to come out of my chest. But as a coach, you got to keep your composure. You got to show your kids that everything's going to be okay. You got to keep the intensity up. You got to let them know, hey, I'm here for you guys. I'm here to make adjustments. Here they are. Let's just execute them, and you guys are going to be okay. And so far, we've been 2-0.
Mm-hmm. Next up is Rodriguez. Talk about them and what's going to be important for you guys to have success in that game.
Ball control, continuing the pressure as far as defensively rebounding. I mean, Rodriguez does a great job on their one-on-one defense. They're tough, they're physical, they grab, they do everything needed to win. Offensively, they're great one-on-one players. They understand how to rack it, and they do a great job at what they do. We just got to continue doing what we do well.
What's the excitement been around campus since you guys came back to school Monday after
man,
Friday's one?
It's a whole different vibe right now. You know, the kids. You know, every student I see, you know, they're extremely happy. Oh, coach, good luck on Wednesday. You know, kids are very, very happy right now here at Merced High School, and they should be.
All right. Well, good luck on Wednesday.
Thank you.
All right, let's take a look at the semifinal matchup. You've seen both teams, so I'll pose the questions to you. What's Merced going to have to do to be successful in this game other than, you know, playing the defense we know they're capable of?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have to play defense, but the big thing is taking care of the ball and handling Rodriguez's pressure. Out at practice, the starters were going against 7 players to kind of simulate the speed that Rodriguez has. And every time they turned the ball over, Nava had them running baseline to baseline for punishment, just to remind them, hey, protect my ball. Every possession counts here in the playoffs. So that's going to be key, is handling the pressure. And then the funny thing here is Merced is playing a team. Merced's not the biggest team. Their biggest guy, Javante Richards, 6'4", but they're taller than Rodriguez. Rodriguez, the tallest guy, is like 6'3". Tim Moore Jr., who was guarding Sykes. If Merced can get the ball to the basket, Rodriguez doesn't have anybody to protect it there. So I think they're going to be able to score if they're able to penetrate. Now the thing is, can they stop Rodriguez from penetrating? Because Rodriguez just likes to get it and go to the boot, to the basket. They're not going to shoot outside. So I think you're going to see Merced use different defenses. We might see them in the zone a bit if they can have some success and try and force Rodriguez to hoist up some shots from outside.
It almost seems like, given Merced's quickness and what they do well defensively, that it's kind of the perfect offensive mindset for them, you know, to go up against with the attack. If they can cut some of those off or just force some bad drives or bad dishes, it seems like they can have some success there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they can get Rodriguez to turn over the ball. I think they're going to be able to score in transition. And that's where this game might be won, is transition points. Who gets those easy baskets? Because both teams can play defense. So the easier basket you can get, if you can get, 16 points in transition, something like that, that's really going to be big in a matchup like this.
All right, you said the GB game was played at breakneck speeds. How fast do you think this one could go, given Merced's quickness?
I think there's going to be parts of this game where it's up and down the court.
Yeah.
Big key for Merced is you don't want to get sloppy. Sometimes Merced plays too fast and they kind of let the ball get ahead of them, and that's when they can get in trouble. I think they got to stay under control here and keep this game in the 50s. I think if Merced can keep this game in the 50s, they're going to have a shot. Because I think you can frustrate Rodriguez. The impressive thing about Rodriguez, Gold Valley tried to go to a zone late in the game. It was a tight game. They were in foul trouble. They went to the zone thinking that, hey, maybe they're going to just do one pass and shoot up. But Rodriguez did a good job of kind of staying patient, reversing the ball, and they didn't settle for shots. They got some good shots there. But I think Merced's a better defensive team, player for player, than Golden Valley, so I think they can have a better shot at matching up against this Rodriguez with their speed.
Do you imagine Merced's going to get away with 38 points and only 4 guys scoring, or are they going to need a bigger offensive contribution?
Well, I think not being at that Franklin game, I think there's going to be more offensive possessions in this game, so I think there's going to be more points because Merced likes to get out and run, and we know that Rodriguez does. So I think this game is going to be played pretty good speed, a lot of possessions. There's going to be a lot of shots put up in this game.
All right. I think that'll do it for this week. If we get a section final game, maybe we'll sneak one more show in. See you out there at Sleep Train.